Okay, so there is a viral debate that happened a few days back. I'm gonna try to record this in English. I'm not very good at spoken English, but still I'll try so that the most amount of audience can understand this. Um, I did not plan. I What happened to my accent? I did not plan to come into this field, at least not right now, because I'm not well read in this regard and I'm not well versed in this regard. Um, but still, I've been seeing a lot of really bad explanations from Muslims that I said, let's just do it. I have a platform, I do talk to the camera now. Um, what's the worst that could happen? So, these are my thoughts on the debate that's going on. If I have not mentioned it already, the debate on does God exist between what's his name, Akhtar Saab, and I guess the Mufti Saab that were present. His name was Ismail, I guess. Um, these both of these names could be wrong, but you might get the point that what debate I am talking about. Okay, so. Um, Three disclaimers before I start into this. The first one is that I'm not very well read and it's not my area of expertise in any way. Secondly, this is a very long running debate. It has been going on before Islam existed, of theism versus atheism. It is not a new debate and it has not been objectively settled till date. It has been settled in the context of religions and the people that follow religions, but objectively stating, if you include the people who deny most things, this debate is not concluded till date. Okay, so two disclaimers. One, I'm not here to settle a debate. And secondly, I'm not the expert. And what was the third one? I forgot. Okay, so let's get into it. I have seen a few videos, a few short form videos on this topic from apparently Muslim scholars, or at least Muslim speakers, who are giving the proof of God to be that concept that Mufti Saab. Yeah, the third disclaimer is that I have not watched that video. I do not watch this desi content around this. I rarely now watch even international content around this because it's the same stuff repeating again and again, again and again. They are all referencing to those 3-4 philosophers that have raised this point and those 5-10 different areas that are generally presented to and against this argument, for and against this argument. So I don't consume a lot of content around that topic these days, around theism and atheism. I do listen to one person that I mentioned before in a video, but still, I did not watch this video. And the clips that I did see on social media, they do suggest that there was nothing new in that conversation either. So, apparently, two things were mentioned in the conversation by Mufti Saab, apparently, which, yes, Javed Akhtar Saab did not answer about, apparently, because a clip that came in front of me was that I don't understand this kind of English. You please translate this for me. So the two words were contingency, which is basically the probability and the chance of an event happening in the future, and the other one was infinite regression, I guess that's the word for it. I might be wrong. Basically the idea that if there is a brush right now in my hand, someone made that brush, yeah, or some machine made that brush, someone made that machine, something made that someone, and so on. If this concept is called infinite regression, if I'm not wrong, um, I have seen some Muslim speakers. Yes, not, I won't say that they are scholars. Some Muslim speakers trying to prove God through this concept. As a Muslim myself, Alhamdulillah, I would say that this is a completely wrong approach of even trying to understand God, because this concept implies that God is somehow a part of our system, of a part of this system, in which there's a creator, a physical creator, and somehow what was I going to say? It implies basically that creation happens in a way, or at least God's creation happens in a way we create things. My argument for that is that we do not create things. We are all just assemblers. We just assemble what we have. We are not creators of things. We are assemblers of things. So you cannot give an example of something humans make and compare it to something that God made. Even the term made is in our own context. We make things, we make events, we produce stuff. That is into our concept. But in Islam, God is God is beyond this whole context. God created this context. God is not confined to the context we live in. This creation, this assembly, is confined to the creation that is available to us, the assembly that is available to us, the art, the skill that is available to us. God is the one who created that skill, is how we Muslims believe in God, believe in the concept of creation and whatnot. So basically, that concept, that infinite regression, again, if I'm saying it right, does not apply to God, because that concept is in our context, is in the context of this material world. Break it down as much as you want to, bring it down to the quantum level. It still is our context. It is not beyond this material world. And expand it or increase it to as much size as possible, bring it to the level of the universe. It is still in the material context. It is not something that is beyond the context of material and matter, or energy for that matter. Energy itself is a concept of this context that we are in, of the environment we are in. The thing is that even Quran cannot be claimed to be a part of God. To the way our context and the way our environment and the way we understand part is that there is some whole as in WHOLE, there is some whole, and a part is a fraction of it, right? So even Quran is not part of God. Quran is the miracle of God in our context, where God uses dynamic resources. I won't say they are imperfect, they are designed by God. They are perfect, they have a meaning, they have a purpose, but using materials from our context, God gave us, and from our dynamic context, which anything in which cannot be something that can be so complex and at the same time so simple that it can that it could stand the test of time, and something so static in a way that it is so consistent throughout, for someone reading it at a specific time. Even time is is a concept of our context. At a specific time, yet it is so dynamic that it evolves to the context of someone who will come way after us and who will have a lot more knowledge, a lot more advanced knowledge of this environment, of this creation, without changing those words. It's words, right? So Quran is a miracle of God in our context, where God uses, let's just say, imperfect resources, imperfect constructs made by humans, but still the most the unique thing that humans have, which is language. God uses that gift, which is still dynamic, which is still made by humans. God uses that and builds something and gives us something of such high complexity yet simplicity that it is understandable to everyone throughout the time that our species has, at least till how we believe it, till the day of judgment, till the world ends for us at least. Or probably the whole universe ends. As it says, when the earths and the heavens will be rolled back, something like that. I'm trying to translate it, but I cannot. My English is not that good. So again, Quran is not a part of God in any way. Quran is within this system, it is within this context. It is not outside of it. So this infinite regression concept, if Muslims are trying to prove God through this concept, it is alarming, to be honest. Because you are confining God to this system, the way we understand creation, the way we see creation, because we have not seen beyond our context. We don't understand that creation can look differently to what we know. And the components of our context include materials, they also include emotions, and probably even thoughts. And God cannot be confined to any of these systems. We are so incapable of understanding God that the best we have to understand God is Qul huwallahu ahad. Say that God is one. Subhanallah. We lack so, not lack. We have so little ability to express something, even through language, that we cannot even come close to describing God in our resources, in our context. I can say this is one brush. That one and this one is not the same. When you say God is one, does not mean that this is one. This is one brush. These are not two same things, because this one brush is in a context. It is in an environment around it, which is outside it. This one brush, or any one thing, a planet, a universe, the whole universe, a whole one universe, is somehow contained in something else as well. So the one that we normally use is not the same one that is being used for God. God is beyond this context of numbering things. The context is, the way the best I can describe is, the God is one. It's not the God is one. I am trying to emphasize it differently. Arabic has that beauty of expression through symbols and through the tajweed or whatever it is called. Arabic has that built into its writing system, but English does not. So I am trying to emphasize that God is not one. God is one. God is the whole, but not in a way that we understand wholes. The wholes. we lack expression to such an extent that we cannot even define whole in terms of God. God is someone, I heard this from somewhere, I don't have the reference for it, but I heard from someone that it is narrated from Imam Ali alayhi salam, who says that God who cannot even be addressed as that God, because the word that implies a sense of direction, implies a sense of distance, implies a sense of detachment, all of which are a concept of our context, of our environment. And anything in our context, in our environment, does not apply to God. But the issue is that we don't understand anything that is beyond our context. We might understand 2D spaces, 1D spaces, but they are still below our context. They are still below our environment. We don't understand, we can't comprehend what is outside our environment. Even the concept of that space-time theory is an example of how a 2D space maps onto a 3D space, a 3D space maps onto a 2D space. It's an example given in that way, that a 4D space might cast a shadow on the 3D space just like a 3D space casts a shadow on a 2D space. We don't know that it is the case, or it is true. We lack understanding to that extent. And yet we debate and fight upon the concept of God. We don't even understand ourselves, and yet we try to explain God. Anything you know, anything you feel, anything you see, literally anything, is within our context. God is the one who created that context. God is not one in a way that he needs space to be in. Because I cannot say that, though, astaghfirullah. But the concept of being one and having space around it to be contained is the concept of our context, of our environment, of our understanding of our dimension, of our world, of our reality, and even of our perception. God is beyond that perception in a way that we can't comprehend. I can't even say he is beyond that perception. He is the one that created that perception. So all these concepts, those infinite regressions, those contingency theories and whatnot, they are within that. They are within this context. And God is the one who created all that context. So these were a few points that I wanted to raise. I hope some of it at least was understandable. I'm not here to end that debate. I did not watch that debate, that specific debate, because it's the same stuff going again and again. So I've got better things to do in life. So yeah, that was it. I'm gonna post this as is. Kitni ho gayi hai? It's 20 minutes. I'm gonna post this as is. Not prepared, just candid, because I was like, I have a platform, so let's just put my thoughts out there. Because from Muslims, even from Muslims, I was hearing stuff that did not make sense to me. So yeah, let me know your thoughts down below. If you'd like to challenge any of this or discuss any of this, I'd be happy to do that. But that being said, I don't do debates anymore because I honestly believe they are a waste of time. You can ask questions, you can present your opinions, but having a debate 99% of the time leads you nowhere. So why not do something that has even a 98% certainty of getting a result, and instead of wasting your time on something that has a 99% chance that it will not yield a result. So yeah, I'm beyond debates, but still, feedback is welcome, criticism is welcome, questions are welcome. This is all I know about this concept though, but we can still research on this. So it's an interesting concept. I will research on this, but still it's not one of my priorities. So yeah, take care and keep growing. With love, Ellie.